Um, Guys and ladies, if I can have your attention for a minute, please. If I can have your attention, please. Okay, I want to make sure that everyone is going to all the stations, but most of all, you people are taking your stuff home. I'm not even kidding. So a couple of things to make sure you know. One, please make sure you are eating hot dogs, popcorn, cotton candy, lemonade, because otherwise I had too much of those. I have about, how many, I think my husband said 90 t-shirts. I am getting my teaching t-shirts, you know, my really good ones like Joan of Arc, who's now married to Noah. Those shirts, they're over there. Please take the shirt. Also, raise your hand if you survived an Egypt project. Look around the room, people. Okay, there are buttons in your honor, and it says, I, of Horace, survived Egypt project. Please get a Duck Egypt project button and a disco ball. But please take the shirt, take your stuff, look for your name badges and all those letters you wrote, and please take your stuff home. I love you dearly, but I don't want to have to take it when I retire in 2 weeks, okay? Please take it, and we'll start a little bit of a program in probably about 15 minutes, okay? not taking your picture in front of the road not taken. There are two roads. Pick your road and take a picture and then upload it. Please remember to upload the things. That's all I'm looking for is I want memories and photos because that's what matters to me. I'm all about the words. And if you haven't looked at those display boards, please do because I put a lot of work into those things and I gotta take them down like tonight. So please go look at them and take stuff.
Sorry, I'm doing something. Resume. Goes like this. I should have left it alone. Oops. I should have left it alone. Sorry, people. Shoot. Okay. Ah! I got to get Brittany back over here. She knows what she's doing. I don't know where Brittany is. Hold on. I know what I'm doing. Hey, Christy, can you try to? It's broadcasting, but I don't know how to stand it up. Oh, so I don't. It's going from the front, but I don't know. Let's see. How are you? You're in Oregon? Oh my gosh. Okay. Make sure that you get this and fill out the information and send me a memory, okay? Have to make sure like scan it. Wait, that one. Okay? She'll send it to you.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Oh,
You need like a little holder.
I don't know. Bridget.
Because if you don't have it charging, it will sit up.
Okay,
but,
well, take it off.
if
I
you-
think it's.
Hold
Oh,
on.
will that work?
Rotate. Oh, you can't turn it while
Okay, here. Then go ahead.
Yeah.
As long as it's got enough. You know, I'm going to turn up the songs too anyway. Because I got those songs in there for you guys. Because. computer. Okay, I'm ready to start. Okay, can you start music? Yeah, and don't close Spotify though because we're going to use it in a little bit.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen and ladies, if everyone could maybe head towards some kind of a seat, and we can get this done because it's on the schedule. Okay, if everyone come on, have a seat. Because you know how I am, I'll just stand here and stare at you until it gets quiet. You know the plan, don't you? Okay, Paul.
Oh gosh. Not the whistle. I'm just gonna set this up.
Okay, everybody's walking, sitting down someplace. Everyone's walking, sitting down.
I'm taking the spot.
Sitting somewhere.
There's a camera right next to you.
All right. Well, I first of all would like to thank my husband, who not only puts up with me. Apparently, I do these kind of parties like once every 10 years. And he actually shows up and helps. And so the next time I'll do this, I'll be 70. So you'll all come, okay? And my BFF Ida, she's back there someplace. Ida Wade. There's Ida, and there's my husband Victor. Husband Steve Wade. He's back there. He matches me. And and I've had some students today who came and helped me. And I didn't get everything done I wanted to, but big surprise. Okay, so before I start, I wanted to just ask a couple of questions. First of all, raise your hands if you were in my class. Hey, make sure you get a picture of this, okay? I want the hands. Okay, this is Brittany. Brittany's my friend. She's also a little bit of a dog sitter. Okay, wow. Okay, that's a lot of people. I have this has been a very emotional couple of weeks as I've been putting this thing together, and it was really, really good. There is no way I could talk about all the memories that you all have given me because there's too many of them. And I mean, even if I did for 37 and a half years in classes, I mean, I'd be in 1 minute, and I'd be here for 40 minutes, and we wouldn't have even touched it, okay? So what I want you to know is, people, I worked really hard on this. Please check it out. What I've got on the inside is the QR code, and the top one is, my love language is words of affirmation, and just knowing memories and what you're up to and what you're doing and whatnot. There's also a place for you to upload photos, and you can see all of them. And then you can see your year of memories. Now, if you're a kid who is not graduating this year, younger, you're going to have to message me and request to open it, and I'll open the link for you. But if you're over 18, yours is in there. So you can go in. I've scanned every picture, every memory page, every picture that you drew for me, everything I've kept. There's probably more, but it's all I can get on there now. And I apologize, there's a couple of display boards that didn't get quite everything up there, but hey, you know what, we're here, and it's 7:04, so I'm impressed. So please make sure you do that. Also, please notice that there's a new tree that is planted outside by the flagpole. My group, 14 years ago, raise your hand if you were here 14 years ago and you helped me plant the tree out there. We planted one after my mom passed right in front of my room, and so the one next to it's going to be the same Chinese elm. It's going to have a plaque with a QR code on it, so if you ever come to Patterson, or when your kids come to Patterson, or your grandkids come to Patterson, all you can do is you'll be able to scan the QR code, and you'll be able to see the memory pages for the kids, like the classroom pages, for all the kids that were ever in room 2. There's a lot of you. Think about it. I mean, 30 years just there, not counting the other schools. Okay, so again, if you make sure, please take some souvenirs. And if you look at it and go, oh, that looks kind of cute, just take it. Please take it, because I've got to do something, and my husband doesn't want all this stuff in my house. Okay? So please just take stuff. And slideshow. Okay? This is what you people have done to me. Okay? Just saying. But that's all right. ADHD has worked well for me because, I've still got a lot of energy, more than the kids I work with. I'm a little more tired than I was with some of you. Yeah, okay, that's the whole story. You're up here on this board in a minute. Okay, Greg. So, I don't remember, but I think I did. When I started, Greg, you might remember. Did I have you guys memorize the road not taken? No, nice try, but we'll take whoever it is. So, I've had you all doing that forever. And it's because, to me, it's all about what road are you going to go on. And what are you choosing? Where are you heading? And life is short, guys. At the end, we're going to look at the memorial, but I've asked one of the moms and dads for the kids who have passed to put these up here. And I mean, this was tough to work through because it really hit my heart, it hit my soul. Because you guys are my kids. You know, you are my kids. And in all honesty, my kid is here someplace. He flew in, and so did one of the other kids from my class that year. She was in Ohio, I think, and flew in. So we've got a lot of kids here. So it's all about the roads. Now, I should probably start this off by prefacing to say, hold on, let me go to the screen. Okay, there's a small disclaimer at the bottom. It says, I'm having a disclaimer for any therapy you may have needed or incurred from having been in my class. Sorry about that. One thing I do know is that, Dan, I've made a lot of mistakes, and, you know, I chewed on a lot of your faces, and I think the biggest part of it was I wanted you to know that I believed you could do it. And, you know, and sometimes it maybe wasn't the greatest way I approached it. But if there's something that I've done that you need to talk to me about, please make sure you message me, because now I got time, and like we can meet for coffee or, you know, something. And because I know there's a lot, and I've got mostly good memories, and there's some things I wish I had done differently, but I'm grateful for the time that I've had. So please forgive me for the mistakes that I made and the stupid things I did. I mean, on a regular basis, ask my poor principal. But I'm hoping that, you know, you haven't been too scarred for life, and, you know, you're going to be okay. All right, so the next adventure. And if you were wondering, like, why is she up there wearing this flight suit thing? How many of you guys know that we have the only flying B-17 anywhere up at the Commemorative Air Force Arizona Air Base? Did you guys know that? The only flying B-17. My husband and I are part of the Commemorative Air Force there, and so we actually have our flight orders. We're going to be flying with the B-25, which is the B-25 Mitchell. We're going to be flying it the week after school's out. We're flying it to Albuquerque. We're going to be there, and I'll be one of the docents showing people around and stuff. I mean, it's a 90-year-old airplane, so you know what? I figure if the darn thing goes down, you know what? I got a good story. Just read about me. It'll be great. But if you thought, okay, so the B-25 were what the Doolittle Raiders did to fly off the aircraft carriers to get to attack Japan less than 4 months after they attacked us. And that shouldn't have been able to happen. Now, they needed to strip the thing down because it was going to be too heavy. So they pulled everything out of it. They even pulled the guns out of it. And the guys are like, okay, this looks stupid. And so they got broom handles, painted them black, and stuck them back out the barrel so at least it looked like they were armed. Okay? Those are the kind of stories I love. And by the way, if you thought you were going to come here and not have to learn something, by the way, you're getting a lamp of knowledge when you leave, so get your lamp of knowledge. I want to tell you about FUSAG. You know what that is? It's called the First United States Army Group. Does anybody know what that is? Do you have any idea what the FUSAG is? You'll learn about it in Marines. By the way, I got a kid who is graduating, and he goes to boot camp for the Marines on June 2nd. So I'm pretty proud of him. Okay, so FUSAG. involved in wanting to learn about World War II and military history, what I figured out was I didn't want to be a complete poser because I couldn't get into the military. I tried, Top Gun was out in the 80s, and I tried, and they said, sorry, your eyesight sucks, and you can't, you're not going to be, you're not getting in. So I married my husband, who was military, so I kind of was in, but I didn't want to be faking it. FUSAG, the First United States Army Group, was a fake military. It was under Patton, and it was the thing that faked the Germans into thinking that the attack was going to come down at Calais instead of where it did. And so they were the ones, these guys, there was 1,100 of them. They faked a military of 30,000. They would parachute in, drop things in, and like soundtracks of like tanks going through. But after the war, Eisenhower told them, you know what, you won the war for us, but if you ever talk about this, I will see you hanged. And so it wasn't until like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that they actually gave the Medal of Honors to the guys that were still alive from FUSAG, but they were the made-up army. And so I'm supposed to have that patch on, but the patch didn't come in time. One of the guys, when his kids would ask him what he did in the military, what'd you do in the war, Dad? He goes, I blew up tanks. No, he blew up tanks. They were inflatable. Okay. Blew up tanks. Okay, that's how you get around it. So, by the way, if you're bored, the Commemorative Air Force tomorrow is having a family day, and it's free. So you should go. I don't, the kids might have to have it. Now, I want to talk to you about, let me back up for a second and show you this. I'm really focused on the women, but specifically the female war reporters, the war correspondents. Because when I first, I did not start off to be a teacher. I didn't. As a matter of fact, I was not a natural. I was a storyteller. I wasn't a natural teacher. But I thought, what could I do to get paid and do anything I wanted to do and just drag a whole bunch of kids along with me? And I'm like, oh, I can teach. That's what I'll do. Really, that's exactly why I did it, because I hardly ever did the same thing more than once because I could drag you guys to do whatever. I mean, you're like, oh, no, we're going here. Oh, no, we're doing this. And it's like, that's where I was. I wanted to be a news journalist when I went to college. I started researching these female war reporters. You ought to look them up. There's one lady, Martha Gellhorn. She was married to Hemingway for a very short amount of time because Hemingway stole her byline in Collier's and took her flight to go to D-Day from her. And she said, not happening. She went over herself. The females, all the military that were, the war correspondents, wore uniforms. They kind of looked like her. So she faked her way. Stop it. Son, you're not in here, are you? No. Okay. So she faked her way onto a hospital ship, hid in the bathroom, and she was the only war correspondent at D-Day because she stowed away. And I was, oh, I like her style. And I really did. And then there's another one. Her name is Lee Miller. There's a movie that just came out. It's kind of raw. Don't want kids see it. But Lee Miller is the war correspondent who was the very first reporter that took pictures at Dachau when they opened the camps. And she watched she saw the bodies coming out. But this was really impactful. After they left the camp, after she'd been walking past all this filth and human misery, they went to Hitler's apartment that he had in Munich. And they talked their way in. Kind of how that's a theme, anyway. They talked their way in. She decided, you know what? She staged a photo. She went into Hitler's bathroom, took one of his pictures off the wall, because of course you have your pictures of yourself if you're Hitler, put it in the bathroom, and decided to take a bath in Hitler's bathtub with his picture behind it and the boots that she had just walked through that mess, the muddy boots on his little sheepskin rug in front of the bathtub. And when I look at that and I say, all right, there's stories that need to be told, and that's what I want to do. I want to still tell those stories. And so, no, I'm not done teaching. I just don't know where the heck it's going to be. I did get my high school certification to teach civics and political science. I should have read the fine print. I didn't have to take political science, which was statistics. I took the wrong test. I studied and I passed it, but I could have taken this one and it was like easy. But anyway, I might be going to one of the high schools, junior highs, I don't know. Okay. I don't know where I'm going. Okay, so, student teaching. I was not a normal. I think I was not a natural. My cooperating teacher at the university basically said that, yeah, I think I was the only student teacher she ever had to, like, cuss at. I was like, oops, my bad, sorry. I stopped 2nd grade, I taught 7th grade, and then 1986, I started my first year in California teaching 7th graders at a school where, I swear to you, the teachers didn't like kids. I was like, finally, I'm not eating in the teacher's lounge. I ate in my room, and all the kids would come in and eat with me. The kids wanted to do a song. They wanted to do a presentation. They called it Dance of the Decades. And the kids got up, the 7th graders got up there, and they did a dance from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. We just had a blast. And I'm like, that's what I'm calling this thing. It's the Dance of the Decades. 2 weeks after I started teaching, and I was 21, no, I might still been 20. 2 weeks after that, my kids have been following the astronaut for the mission as the teacher in space. And so, yeah, I was 20 years old, and I got to walk a whole class of 7th graders through watching these 7 astronauts on the Challenger blow up. And, yeah, so you learn a lot. And that was in South Phoenix. But that gentleman there that's talking, he was a Holocaust survivor. He had a tattoo on his arms. He was my friend's grandpa. And I had him in my very first year. So then, oops, I don't know what I just did. So then, drum roll, I ended up deciding I'm moving to Arizona because that's where my family is. And I actually had been at Patterson when my niece started kindergarten here. So I had met some people. And it just turned out that Nanda Chamokas, I was at the district office when I was, actually, no, I fast forwarded, sorry, I brain lapsed. I started off in Ahwatukee in Kyrene. And I just looked at Greg, and I'm like, I just skipped a whole section of my life. So, Paloma, I opened the school. Greg, come, you have to explain to them exactly how we figured this conversation out.
This is my favorite story, I think, of the year. And I'm sorry if I can come.
Be gentle.
So,
okay, look at this. This gentleman was in my 6th grade class. Okay, let's just work it down. In my first 6th grade class.
there's pictures back there of me. There's proof of it. He's not. So,
His son is
the,
in 6th grade this year.
the crazy thing is my son has started in kindergarten here, and I had no idea she was here. I love, I have 3 kids, and the highlight of being a dad, I think, was taking them all to science camp, right? And so we get there the first day, and I see Miss Hickman, and I'm like, God, she looks familiar, but it was one of those things that, you know, Alex has been here for 6-7 years, and it had been so long that I had been in her class that I'm like, she looks familiar, right? And then, so that was the first day we got there, and the second day she ended up being sick. Didn't see her most of the second day. The third day, we're all sitting down at breakfast, and she asked, hey, can I sit with you? And we started talking small talk. Hey, this is my 3rd science camp. And she's like, where did your kids go? And I'm like, they were in the Kyrene School District. And she goes, I used to teach in the Kyrene School District. And then I go, I used to go to the Kyrene School District. She looks at me and she goes, who was your 6th grade teacher? And you get put on the spot. You kind of start going through the years, and you're like,
She was
who
tall.
was it?
She was pretty tall.
And the funny thing was, this is the only teacher that I have had in all of my school that I can remember her first and last name. And I go, I remember who it is. It's Bonnie Nethery. And she looks at me and she goes, that's me. And it was the greatest way to, my son's graduating, going to GAMS next year. Bonnie was one of my favorite teachers. When I was in her class, and I apologize if I get a little choked up because I'm just an emotional guy, but I had come out. My parents had been divorced. It was the second year I lived in Arizona, and it was a completely brand new school. And I had a little bit of adjustment, I think, issues going through there. But the one thing that I took from that sixth grade class was to believe in myself. And it was one of the best things that I think anybody could have ever taught me. And I do. I owe you a lot, and I'm really glad that we got to connect. It's really awesome. It's my favorite story of the year.
Well, Eddie Elsie said he planned on being rich, and I just told him to remember who his favorite teacher was, so I'm okay with it. And it's funny because, thank you so much, Greg. It's funny because if you look at the picture that's on the screen, that's Greg, okay, and that's his son. Okay, but the story gets even crazier. You know, like serendipity, when you know it's time, like, okay, I'm 30 years in the same 30 by 30 room. Okay, it's time, we're going to piece out of here sometime. And the kids are all going to need therapy because they have to roll me out of here. And, like, you know, that's not good. So, the year we were there, one of my girls, Crystal, caught her house, her living room, her kitchen on fire. And so she was telling me about it, and she felt so horrible that I decided we should invite the firefighters in. So the firefighters came in, and so they ended up doing CPR classes with us. And so I found a video of Greg and a couple of these other kids doing CPR on the mannequins that we did with the firefighters, which, by the way, the kids were trying to set me up with the firefighters. It was kind of funny.
Were they cute?
They were. They were like going, can we give him your phone number? No. All right, I ended up dating one for a while, but we're not going to talk about that. All right. My husband's back there. So I did a year at Paloma, then I went to Las Lomas, and I was there for 3 years. This group of kids right here, Carrie, you're here someplace, right? Carrie, stand up, please. Okay, Carrie, and who else did I got another? I've got another Carrie too, don't I? I've got another, and we've got a couple. Okay, so some of these kids that were with me here, it was just amazing. Like, we read Romeo and Juliet. Oh, P.S. Leftover Romeo and Juliet books. Please take them. They're kind of falling apart, but they're yours. Please take some. Oh, sign language books. Let's get to the sign language thing. Ooh, I should back up. Wait, no. Okay. All right, do you see between Greg was assigned not only his own son, but one of our students. Is Stephanie still here? Did Steph have to leave?
She left.
Okay, well, one of the students is hearing impaired, and which is really, really kind of interesting because I had learned and wanted to start learning sign language, and so when I had a student teacher in my class here, I said, well, I want you to do some sign language with the kids. And she's like, why don't you learn sign language? I'm like, because my kids need to learn it, and it's quiet when sixth graders learn sign language. And I love that. And so, turns out that she had a son who was deaf. So the serendipity of how things like flow together is just, like, to me, it's amazing. One of the first kids from one of the first classes that I know of that I've lost was a young man named Ryan Crowder, and he was in this class here. They also decided to rewrite Romeo and Juliet and make it their own version. That was pretty funny. And I was hoping they would reenact it today, but yeah, we could get organized. And then I taught in Germany for 2 years. That was an interesting time. My husband was there when the wall fell. I was there when Germany was reunited. I was there for the Gulf War, and that was a tense time. And we were on a military base, and we were told, hey, you're probably going to have 100,000 dead, and all of the kids are on the military base, parents are military. So we were preparing for some pretty rough stuff. I came back, and when I started school here at Patterson, I had the most gorgeous globe, and I was so proud of it, because, I had the USSR and East Germany and West Germany. Came back from someone, the custodian goes, guess what? We got all new globes. Where's my globe? He got rid of my globe. Anyway, so it's one more thing I couldn't put out. This is my first year at Patterson. Chris Puffer, did you make it here? No? Where are you, Chris? Wave. Chris, wave. Okay, Chris, I don't know if you guys remember, if you were here a long time ago, that's Chris Puffer. I called her the art goddess because she took you people for an hour every week, and you went to art. Whoops. And she was the only person that I knew that actually could speak hieroglyphics. Yeah. But this year, it was an amazing year. It was first year here, and I can't even wrap my head around the number of memories. We did Mapping the World by Heart, and I'm friends with these kids. This is also Kristen, this is the girl at the top that we lost in an accident. Okay, the kid in the bottom left-hand corner, his dad has been my eye doctor for 30 years, and he just retired, thanks a lot, Hostetler. And so now I'm having to find a new eye doctor, and I've got cataracts. God, I'm getting old. Anyway, so Jen, are you in here still? Jen, where are you? Jen said, I've got it all in my head. So this is Jennifer, by the way, the one wearing a scarf. Be sure to notice the scarf.
Well, it was decades, and I was debating wearing a Renaissance costume. But I didn't have just a scarf.
Hey, Mia, run into my classroom and get the American flag scarf I brought for her.
So yes, that is me, Renaissance Festival. Your mom gives you $20 for food, a small souvenir, and I bought a scarf.
This is my son, by the way, David. Some of you doing this little David now.
So I had to count on my fingers today. I just finished up my 17th, well, I'm finishing up my 17th year in education. And I was going to write a speech, and then I just kind of thought I'd go with it. So, and the scarf was one of the stories. I remember open house coming in, and I was told we were going to have a brand new teacher at the school. I had been here first grade through sixth grade. And I remember this very tall lady that still felt the need to wear 3-inch stiletto heels, but she was already 6'2". So she was a giant. I struggled a lot in sixth grade with fitting in, finding my niche, finding a group of people. And if she didn't have gray hair that year, she definitely probably got it after that year, and I was probably a good root cause of it. I put on eyeshadow where I looked like Mimi from the Drew Carey show that she had to deal with and work through. I did get my nails done today, nice and long, but they are not bright red. As a sixth grade student, I did that. She taught me I had, and I'm going to make fun of myself because that's how I deal with it. Don't ever stuff your bra and do the high jump in PE and have tissue paper. You should use dryer sheets. That's what I learned. I should use dryer sheets because, they can just get stuck in the shirt. I have been fortunate enough. I did some teaching internships in her classroom. Sometimes I was just bored in life, not knowing what I was doing with my life. I got a cat one day, and she let me bring it to her room, and I hung out in her room with her kids for like an hour with the kittens. That's just the type of teacher she always was. I'm just trying not to cry. She went through my first tragedy. I'll get it. daughter is in 8th grade and got baptized. She was there for me when my mom died. She's just an amazing teacher, and I teach 8th grade math, and I hope and wish that my students will come back and see me and think of me the way that I think of her, because I think it's really hard to find a teacher as amazing as her. I mean, just look around the room at all the students that are here and how far back it goes. But she's just amazing. It was an amazing year. I just walked my husband back through that room, and everything looks so small now. The cafeteria used to be really big. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but, I mean, she's just amazing. She is amazing. I've gotten to share some teaching moments with her over the last couple of years. I got to attend a conference with her for our teachers union. So, I love you.
She kind of skipped over the SCARF conversation. Let's go back to the SCARF conversation. She missed that part. We went to the Renaissance Fair, because I took you guys to the Renaissance Fair. I'm kind of into SDA, because again, like, you know, I can drag kids to wherever I want to go. We went to the Renaissance, it was out when it was at Big Surf. No, they didn't have it out in AJ, it was Big Surf when we started. Then you guys did your own at school. So I took Jen's class to the Renaissance Fair. And while Elizabeth, who, believe it or not, I mean, she's the redhead over on the side, she lives like on the street behind me. I met her when her daughter was trick-or-treating at my house. I'm like, wait, are you? Yeah, well, Elizabeth and her dad paid to have me put in the stockade. So while I'm in the stockades over there, Jen decides to go into this scarf booth that they have the clothing attire, and she comes out, okay, she went in there wearing clothes, and she came out wearing a scarf. And I'm like, where are your clothes? Get back in there and put your clothes on. Yes, those were the days. So, I had Todd, are you still here? I don't know. Okay, so Todd, I honestly didn't even remember this, because sometimes I would get kids that get moved into my room for various reasons. I'll let you explain this, Todd. Elizabeth, are you still here? Where's Elizabeth? Is she still here? Elizabeth and her daughters are here. Elizabeth is a sign language interpreter, and so is Stacy, used to be Stacy Tarasi. She went to Gallaudet. And I do a song in sign language for the kids at the end of the year, but, I mean, up until now, I've never had anybody that knew sign language, so if I needed to make it up, I couldn't. They didn't know any difference. And now I'm like, oh, my God, I can't do this. So anyway, but yeah, Todd, hey, Todd, you want to talk for a sec? Yeah, sure you do. Happened to run into Todd at the Wreaths Across America last year because I didn't have enough kids that came with me, and I'm like, I need kids. And they're like, where are you going to get kids? I'm like, there's kids in the audience. I'll go get a kid. And I went over and I grabbed a kid. And then I got to talking. I'm like, come up here. I need you to help me put wreaths on the grave.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, it's funny the story how because I knew you were going to be there. Your friend Nancy Fassbender, who's my client. I don't know how we talked about it, how it came up, but it was like, she's like, oh, I'm doing this Wreaths Across America thing. And then they're going to have all this stuff in the 6th grade class from Gilbert or from Patterson. I was like, oh, Patterson. Oh, my favorite teacher was at Patterson. It was my 6th grade teacher. And she's like, well, who was your teacher? Oh, it was Bonnie Hickman. She's like, that's who's going to be there. I'm like, oh my God. All right. And I told my wife, like, hey, we're going to go to this. I'm like, okay. And then it happened. My son helped with that. Like, by the way, I was in your class 20 years ago, whatever it was. Like, it was just crazy, seeing that. And I remember you were tall, and you're still tall. So, yeah. That was great. But yeah, I got kicked out of Ms. Richardson's class. And I think Elizabeth did too. She's gone now. But I remember sitting down and annoying the crap out of Ms. Richardson for whatever I was doing. And she literally picked me up by my ear, I think, and took me next door. And just put me down in your class, and I thought you were scary, which you were scary. And I was going off in the 6th take this class. Oh my God! But it was like the best thing. Like it's the only teacher I remember really from any. Yeah, well, no, it would probably save you from therapy, honestly. But it's just too bad you're retiring before my kid becomes a sixth grader. So.
Who knows where I'll be? So yeah, so I was just crazy when things run through it. And by the way, Melissa Wamakusa has been at Patterson 30 years also, but she's not into the conversations and things like this, and I am. So just remember that I'm not the only one who's leaving after 30 years. So this is Stacy's class. She's the one that's a sign language interpreter. Byron, are any of the Marroquins here? Oh, there they are. Stand up. No way, Byron. I didn't get to see you. Stand up, Byron. Okay, so I've had, yay, Anthony, stand up. Where is it? Look at this. My God, how is this possible? Are you serious? Okay, this kid right here, he's my first grad student. He is. He's my first grad student because I had Byron, and then I had Crystal, and then I had a kid that I would have been friends with if this kid had lived, Paloma. And Paloma's my only kid who was ever born on leap day. So when she turned 3, we had her birthday party. We had a Barney party for her in the room. And the year before, she had bone cancer and had her right arm removed. And she was the most amazing kid. Just amazing. And I would have been friends with that kid when she was an adult. And she passed before her 4th birthday, before she was 16. And this is her mom. And her mom is the best. But Crystal then had a kid. And it was Anthony. So he was my first grad student. And I've got one this year whose stepdad, was in my class. And then I've had one other that was kind of a distant. He was in the room next to me. But yeah, my very first grad student. I just loved it. And so that's Byron. And by the way, when Anthony left Patterson, that was the COVID year. So the way I got to say goodbye to him was we chucked the diplomas or the graduation things in the windows as they did a drive-by, And the Marroquins are like, I don't care, we're getting out of the car. So we're like, good. So we all got out of the car, and then the best thing about it was they photoshopped Paloma in for me. So she's there at the end. And it was just amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, let me stop this for a second until I get there. I have so many other things I wanted to share. One of the coolest years was when I had the group of kids who did Duck Wars. And it's like they literally had battle strategy. I couldn't get them to do their homework, but they made battle strategies. And then there were so many ducks. I came in and there's ducks those rubber lined up everywhere. And I finally said, we got to do something and build something because these ducks are killing me and there's no room on your desk. So we made duck-a-boats. We had star ducks and we had an amusement park and we had all stuff. And that was the year that my kids would have gone to Houston. We were second place only because the 8th graders had better presentational skills than my 6th graders. We kicked butt on making a space station that would have survived 100 people in outer space for 2 years, self-sustaining. It was amazing. These kids were great. We should have won. And that was an amazing year. The astronauts that were there told us our idea would have worked, but their idea was stupid because you couldn't use magnets and all. Our idea would have worked. Anyway, and then, I'm not wrong. And then, if you look at 2017-18, had a group of kids that did We the People, and we went to Washington, D.C. It took a dozen kids. Raise your hand if you're one of the parents that was able to go with us. Oh, I know Chris was. We had 12 kids, 6 adults. I'm like, okay, we can do this. I've never taken kids on a plane before. It was an amazing experience to take kids to DC. And Dominic had to leave, but I remember at the end, we're at Arlington, and our tour guide apparently didn't know you could take a shuttle bus, so we walked Arlington, and we get there, and I had the kids sit down, and I was playing that song by Trace Adkins called Arlington, and it says, I made it to Arlington. And I just wanted the kids to see the graves, and I wanted them to just sit and think. And we get up afterwards. I'm like, all right, guys, let's head back to the bus. Dominic walks in, he goes, Mrs. Hickman, that guy made it to Arlington. I don't even think I can make it to the bus. I'm not carrying your butt, get worked. We did, on the way home, we were supposed to stop by and another hour and a half at the Martin Luther King Memorial. One of the little girls sitting next to me, I'm not sure, she might hear, she goes, Mrs. Hickman, I'm going to go all Rosa Parks on that guy. You cannot make me get off this bus. And I'm like, oh, maybe we should just keep going. Let's just go back to the hotel. And that's when you know they know. We did the entire Natural History Museum. They said, we've got to leave for the airport. Bus guy says. I said, how much time do we have? He goes, half an hour. I'm like, we can do this. I got these kids there, and I'm like, turn on your cameras. You can look at the pictures when you get on the plane. Move! We did the entire Natural History Museum in 30 minutes. And of course, I had my own son in my class in 2004, 2005, and that was a trip. I was told specifically, you are not allowed to be his teacher at home. Your dad's going to have to do it. You can't be it. I remember coming in on each of projects, my kid's laying on the couch watching Scooby-Doo, and I hear the drill in the garage. I'm like, what is your dad doing? And he's like, I don't know. He's out there making a little cistern shaky thing. I'm like, okay. It was a fun year, and it was really cool because I knew these kids. One of them was one of the kids that I lost, Justin. And that's hard. Actually, I talked to Justin, it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks before he passed, something like that. He called me. And, that's hard. And life is short. And just make sure you're enjoying it and, living it. And I know there were some people that maybe wanted to say something. I actually had other slideshows and things I was going to do, and I ran out of time. Because, I had this day job, and I had to keep a bunch of sixth graders that are 9 days from the end of the year getting occupied. That's a challenge. So, but I would like to, if you wouldn't mind, I would like us to say the road not taken. If you don't remember it, it's on the little brochure that I gave to you. And it's on the board for anybody that missed it. Okay. All right, say it with me. And it's Robert Frost. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. For being one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, was just as fair, but having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. But as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Good job, you guys. I remember, let me see, who was it? Kevin, I think it was you that didn't think you were going to have to do it. Wasn't this true? Gabby's like, I don't have to do it. And I'm like, well, then you aren't leaving school. It's the last day of school, and everyone's leaving it. And I'm like, well, it was true, wasn't it? You did good. Stand up. I'm going to give you a hug. Wasn't it Nick that had to stay one time until like 7:30 at night because he thought I was kidding about getting his math done? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. We ordered pizza. My husband's sitting there with my son, and we're sitting 7:30 at night. And I have a picture of Nick holding his math packet underneath the clock. Okay, as evidence. Those were the days. So, yeah, I am just incredibly grateful that you guys have let me take this ride with you, and it's been fun, and I can't imagine a better life than that, and I'm just so grateful. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Logan. I had Logan's uncle, I don't remember what year was that? Andrew was.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was, I mean, Andrew, well, how young?
Well, 2002 was freshman year,
So,
I guess 2002,
so
2007.
I had her brother in class. He was one of my kids who passed. It was a car accident on the way back from skiing. And I remember when Andrew left my class at the last day of school, he was crying. He was one of the last ones out. And that was one of the last times I'd seen him. And then his nephew comes into my room, and I didn't know they were related. And I looked at him, and it was the craziest thing because he looked so much like him. I called him Andrew several times that year because I was like, oh, wait, no. Because he was like, you were the image. And, you know, it's such an honor to be able to be part of your lives. And it's just been a lot of fun. And I've really enjoyed it. I know that Carolina is so cute. Carolina Guerrero, who is, you know, Miss Anna. A lot of you know Miss Anna's the head. Where is she? Oh, there you are, Carolina. Did you ever send it to me?
I did. I didn't get a chance to. I can say something right
Okay, you want to whisper to me and then I'll say it out loud?
now. No, I can say it.
You can. Okay, go. She's like, I don't think I can talk in front of adults.
Talking in front of kids, not adults.
Oh, and she is right. She is in charge of the new Spanish program for IB here. She's so good. I'm sitting in her class going, I want to be a teacher like that.
Hi, I'm Carolina. So I was her student in 2008, 2009, and if you're wondering,
The year of the duck.
and 10 years later, 2019, I became her coworker. If you're wondering what that's like, it is exactly the same thing. Teachers are required to stay in while I teach Spanish so they can learn it as well, and she has taught mastering my Spanish lessons, she has taught sign language, she has taught everything that was on this slideshow. So it's very similar, but I mean, as a student, I can very proudly say that she's probably the teacher who I have the most memories of and with. I remember my 6th grade, like, end of the year party, like, just sobbing with my friends and watching, like, the rain fall, like the movie scene, and thinking, like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I'm leaving 6th grade, I'm leaving Patterson, like, I have no idea where my future, like, what it holds, because Patterson's my life, 6th grade is my life, but I think that just, like, proves the community that she builds within her classroom. I'm sitting next to an old classmate right now, just catching up, and it's just the same, the connection, just, I mean, through the years, like, you just feel like, it just puts you back in that classroom, which, as a coworker, I was in there this morning, and I literally feel the same. I was scared. I ran out of there. But yeah, lots of memories, and I thank you for the memories as a student, but also as a coworker.
So, I don't know, you guys, I just mainly wanted to thank you. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the chance to do what I love and get paid to do this and drag you along into Lord knows what I drug you into. And it's just been a lot of fun. Okay, so the very first year, I want to say NSYNC was, I think when it was back, I think in Kyrene even. I mean, like, it was a long time ago. And of course, I'm going to play this. I think you should at least try it. Because, okay, I'm not going to recommend watching this movie because I had no idea that, you know, what's his name is. What's going on? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. You don't even want to know. I have been practicing this stupid move since October, and I still can't figure it out. Oh, do this. I don't even know what it is. This is why you don't show videos in class. Anyway, there it is. And it's not loud enough anyway. But you get the idea. Bye, bye, bye. Except it does say something about, you know, like, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but it's a good song. So, let's stop it. All right, guys, I am so grateful. Guys, I'm really not kidding. My husband had to go to the dollar store and buy hangers. Please take these shirts. Please, take the shirts. There are buttons. I need to know, okay, which parents in here have, this is my husband. He's pretty brave. He's coming up here. Is it time to go?
Hi, I'm Ed, her husband. And if you're wondering what that's like, it's not any different. I just had a real quick story, just like a true story, when our son, was in her classroom. And it came up that parent-teacher conferences were being scheduled. And she, like, well, what are you going to schedule for? What time? I'm like, how about we just talk about it here? And we were living together. I said, I'll take you out to dinner. But she's like, no, you have to come in. So she made me come in for our son's, whatever, progress report.
I needed to hear what I was going to say, because I kind of put it together as I'm looking at a folder, and I didn't know what I was going to say. So he's coming off with very conferences. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's put up with me. I've known him since we were 9. He's my brother's best friend. I've known since I was 10. I liked him, and when I was 13, I recorded the wedding song, and I put our names on the cassette tape. And I've known since I was 13, and it took him till he was 25 to figure it out, because he's cute, but he figured it out. And when I told him, he's like, well, I think we should date first. I'm like, well, you're living in Germany. I'm like, okay, I'll move to Germany. He's like, wait, you can do that? I'm like, well, I can teach anywhere. And he's like, fine. So then he's like, okay, we're just going to get married. So we did that. Okay, so I've got some awards for, if you are a parent or have a parent that had me for more than 1 year, please raise your hand. If you were a kid who has more than one sibling in my class, can you please come up if I had more than one of your siblings? Because I have awards for parents that have more than one sibling. Oh, my Lord, Dina, you definitely need it. Hold on one second, Dina. Okay, you had diamonds. It absolutely does. I remember handing the Chromebooks to you guys from the front porch, and like I said, I was sure I looked like a drug dealer, distributing Chromebooks as parents drove up in the night, to drop things off. Okay. Who else? I know I've got parents that have multiples. Please come get these, because you earned it. Because you had to put up with the creative ideas. Oh, yes. I've got farmers. Oh, my goodness. Look at all these parents. And they still show up. Oh, my God. No way. Lithgow. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I got to. Please. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is the only year I ever had triplets in my class. I had three siblings, and that was back in the day when you had to hand fill out everything. And this poor mother sitting there, the same great time. All such different kids. Unbelievable. Amazing. They were like the best friends and so cool together. It was amazing. She still needs therapy for it. Yeah, pick a button for her. Okay, wait, where are my other badges? Hey, Mia, find my other badges that were in the classroom. Where's Mia? Okay, any of my girls. Anaya, run into the classroom and get a bunch of these. Hurry. Quick. Thank you, sweetie. Oh my gosh, I know. It's crazy. Hold on. The metal's wrong. I dug a lot of pockets. Okay. They're bringing the metal. Oh my gosh, will you guys please take the stuff that's over there. Please take buttons and badges and ducks and t-shirts. And I'll be up here for a little while. We could use some help, like cleaning up when we get ready to go. So if you can help me, then poor Anna doesn't have to do this, and I'm not here till midnight. So you guys, can you all give yourselves a round of applause and a hand? And thank you to anybody that's on Facebook Live, because I know I've got students there too. You guys are amazing, and I love you. And this is my friend Chris, the art goddess. love you. Reverend Rand. There it is. See, she's speaking. Oh, good. See, look, I knew the kid knew where those badges were. Okay, if you're a parent who's got gifts, they're over here now. Okay, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for coming and for the memories. And please don't forget to log on the website and make sure you upload some pictures. Okay, and you want to say anything else? Anyone else want to say anything? Nothing.
Hi. I'm on her Facebook. Say hi. Somebody's Facebook. I don't know. I'm gonna set it back. Hold on.
Okay, and this one, I told him he borrowed the Rasta hat when he did his world project, and I told him, it's yours.